Insperity presents the Small Business Advocate Show with Jim Blasingame, brought to you by FedEx, CareerBuilder.com, and Palo Alto Software. This is a copyrighted production of Small Business Network, Inc., all rights reserved.
He's the man who's teaching small business how to embrace social media, the king of tweets.
Well, they have the internet on computers now. To start, press any key. Where's the any key?
Jim Blasingame, the small business advocate.
We're back. It's 34 after the hour. Thank you very much for joining me. Thanks for hanging out with me. My pleasure to continue to be with you, especially when I get a chance to reintroduce you to our good friend Judith Glaser. Judy is the author of Creating We, also the DNA of Leadership. She's doing some incredible brain research in terms of how the brain works and how that makes us behave. She also wrote 42 Rules for Creating We. She's working with the Chinese. I don't know who else she's working with, but she's one of the smartest people I know. Judith Glaser, welcome back to the show.
I am so thrilled to be here. You always make me sound smart. So
well, you are smart. I know you are. We always enjoy having you here. You were on, was it CBS this weekend?
I was on CBS Morning News.
And talking about the compelling nature and the neurological, physiological impact that email has on us.
It's just incredible. There was a study that was done to try to see what happens when people take an email vacation to see if that changes the neurochemistry. Because what we've learned is that when people are at work and they're wired into emails, they're constant. People sometimes have hundreds, if not 1,000 in their email box a day.
Yep.
It causes stress, and it causes stress because usually the important ones are from your boss, your colleagues. You're trying to make decisions. If you don't get into the email trail where it's happening or when it's happening, then you lose. That's how people see it. So you've got to really play. It's like playing.
And don't forget the spam that keeps getting through.
That's right, exactly. So you're trying to figure out what's important, what's not, and if you miss something, then you get into trouble. People think that you've rejected them. So what they say is your body goes into a red alert where cortisol's high, and you are in a constant fear state that something's going to be missing for you. And then when we talk about this a lot. When that happens, the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain that's used for good judgment, for thinking, for empathy, for all the things that make us great executives, that part of the brain closes down. It's not accessible.
Well, and Judy, when you think about it now, I'm not a slave to social media. I'm on social media, but I'm not a slave to social media. But my email is up all the time. But there are people, you and I both know people who are slaves to Facebook, slaves to LinkedIn, slaves to Twitter. They've got it coming into their smartphone. They've got it on their desktop. They got it on their iPad or the tablet or whatever. And you're talking about email. Email is a piker compared to some of these other things.
Well, it's really funny. I saw something on TV where they showed a bunch of girls sitting in a room, not looking at each other, not talking to each other, in the bedroom like they used to go in and play together.
Yeah.
But they were all answering their tweets and their instant messages
to each other
and feeling very cool about it.
To each other. Yeah. It was all internal. Yeah. Well, no, exactly. So, but here's the thing. What's this doing to productivity at work, Judy?
Well, that's what happens when our body is when the slurry of fear and cortisol is in the body. It causes people to think and listen to each other from the state of threat. And so we always are worried about, is that other person on my side? So the question of, can I trust that person? And so people start to build networks of people other than just the ones they're supposed to work with to support them and to make them feel good. And now you get this thing called the complicated political environment.
Right.
So it makes productivity become second to playing out the social issues, trying to figure out how to move with people.
So my email is up a lot, but sometimes I put it away so it doesn't keep popping up and bothering me. So it doesn't distract my eye when I'm working on something I'm trying to concentrate on.
Well, that's exactly the recommendation. They said to me, how would you coach a leader? And I had one leader who was the CEO of a very, very large, well-known branded company, which I won't mention, who had what was called the 7-minute rule. Everybody on his team, all his direct reports, had to respond to his emails in 7 minutes, and if they didn't, he felt that they were disrespecting him. Isn't that something? So in his case, what I tried to do is, first of all, he wouldn't stop. He couldn't stop because he was transacting very important business globally. But what he did do is he started to expand it to a half an hour because some people need to end something that they're doing
Right.
in order to get right. And so,
Well,
if you wanted respect,
if
you
it's
know,
part of
you
your
gotta give it back.
business, I mean, if that's how you do business, then that makes a little more sense. But a lot of email is not that urgent, and you know, I don't know how to solve this, but I do know that I cannot concentrate on something that I'm trying. If I'm trying to create something from nothing, I have to focus on that. I can't be distracted by email every 30 seconds.
So you don't get conditioned to the ding. That's part of what happens.
It's called mute. Hit the mute button.
You turn it on mute. That's why, because we're like little rats. As soon as we hear the bell, we want to eat, and eating is our social media.
Yeah. Now I don't do it all the time, but when I need to be quiet, when I need to be concentrating, that's when I do that. And
awesome.
and I get written. Now I check it every half hour or so, 20 minutes, half hour, just to make sure nothing's the world hasn't fallen off the edge. Think about it, folks. An email vacation. Maybe it's just 30 minutes. Quick break. Right back with Judith Glaser. Stay with us.
Insperity presents the Small Business Advocate Show with Jim Blasingame, brought to you by FedEx, CareerBuilder.com, and Palo Alto Software. This is a copyrighted production of Small Business Network, Inc., intended for the private use of our audience. Except as otherwise provided by copyright law, all other copying, redistribution, or publication without prior written consent is prohibited. All rights reserved.